In a secret military base on Earth, a group of scientists and military leaders gathered in a large conference room. The walls were lined with screens showing images of the Galactic Empire's ships and their recent attacks on human colonies. The atmosphere was tense, filled with worry and fear. The Galactic Empire had become a real threat, and many believed that humanity was losing the battle against these powerful aliens. Dr. Elena Cruz, a brilliant scientist known for her wild ideas, stood at the front of the room. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her eyes sparkled with determination. She paced back and forth, holding a remote control that changed the images on the screen behind her. "We need a bold plan," she began. "We can't just sit here and wait for them to strike again. We must show the Galactic Empire that we are not weak." The leaders listened, but some exchanged skeptical glances. General Carter, a strong and serious man, crossed his arms. "What do you propose, Dr. Cruz?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. Dr. Cruz took a deep breath, her heart racing. "What if we turn Jupiter into a warship?" she announced, her voice firm. The room fell silent as her words sank in. "A warship? Jupiter?" General Carter scoffed. "That's impossible! Jupiter is a gas giant. We can't build a ship out of a planet." Dr. Cruz smiled confidently. "But think about it. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. It has the resources we need, hydrogen, helium, and a massive gravitational field that we can use to our advantage. We can create something incredible, something the Empire will never see coming." The leaders looked at each other, unsure of what to think. Colonel Davis, a younger officer with a keen mind, broke the silence. "But how can we make it indestructible? What technology do we have that could handle that?" Dr. Cruz nodded, pleased to see interest. "We can combine our best technologies. We have advanced robotics, powerful energy shields, and new weapon systems. If we work together, we can create an unstoppable warship. We'll use Jupiter's resources to build and defend our new home base." A murmur spread through the room as the leaders considered her proposal. They knew it would be a monumental task, but the thought of taking the fight to the Galactic Empire excited them. Dr. Cruz noticed their growing enthusiasm and pressed on. "If we succeed, we can turn the tide of this war. We can show the galaxy that humans are not to be trifled with. The Empire thinks we are weak, but they will be shocked when they see what we can create." General Carter, still skeptical, leaned forward. "What if we fail? What if the Empire discovers our plan before we are ready?" Dr. Cruz smiled again, confident. "We will work in secret, using one of Jupiter's moons as our base. We can start right away, gathering the best engineers, scientists, and soldiers. We'll build a team that believes in this plan and wants to defend Earth." One by one, the leaders began to nod in agreement. Colonel Davis raised his hand. "I volunteer to lead the team. I believe in this plan, and I want to help make it a reality." With that, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Excitement began to replace fear. The leaders discussed the next steps, brainstorming how to gather the resources they needed and who to recruit. Dr. Cruz felt a surge of hope. They were finally taking control of their fate. As the meeting wrapped up, Dr. Cruz looked out at her colleagues. She could see the determination in their eyes. This was the moment they had been waiting for. They would not just be fighting for survival. They would be creating a future where humanity stood strong against the Galactic Empire. And so the bold plan was set into motion. With courage and innovation, the humans would embark on a journey to convert Jupiter into an indestructible warship, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The news of Dr. Cruz's bold plan spread quickly across Earth. Teams of scientists, engineers, and soldiers were gathered at a hidden base on one of Jupiter's moons, ready to start the incredible project. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and determination. Everyone knew they were about to take on the biggest challenge of their lives. As the sun rose over the horizon of the icy moon, workers unloaded equipment and supplies from transport ships. Large machines glowing with energy hummed to life, ready to assist in the construction. Dr. Cruz stood at the center of the bustling activity, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. She had a vision, and now it was time to turn that vision into reality. "Listen up!" she called out, her voice cutting through the noise. "We have a massive task ahead of us. Our goal is to convert Jupiter into a powerful warship. We need to work together, stay focused, and think outside the box." The team cheered, fueled by her passion. Colonel Davis stepped forward, his demeanor serious yet inspiring. We need to divide into groups. Engineers will focus on designing the warship's structure, while scientists work on the energy systems and weapons. We also need a team for defense and strategy. Communication is key! The workers quickly organized into teams, each one ready to tackle their part of the project. Engineers set to work using advanced software to create blueprints for the warship. They discussed ideas, sketching out plans on digital screens. Some proposed using Jupiter's immense gravitational pull to create a shield, while others suggested using the planet's resources to build powerful weapons. In another corner, scientists examined the chemical composition of Jupiter's atmosphere. They collected samples and analyzed data, searching for ways to harness the planet's energy. They worked long hours, fueled by caffeine and determination, pushing the boundaries of what they thought was possible. Meanwhile, Colonel Davis led the defense team. They constructed training simulations to prepare for potential attacks from the Galactic Empire. We need to anticipate their moves, he said, pacing in front of the holographic display. They might not know what we're building, but they will want to destroy it once they find out. As the days turned into weeks, the base buzzed with activity. Workers faced challenges, but they never lost hope. They encountered problems with machinery, unexpected weather conditions, and even disagreements among team members. But through it all, Dr. Cruz kept everyone motivated. She held daily meetings, praising their progress and encouraging collaboration. One evening, as the team gathered for a break, Dr. Cruz took a moment to reflect. "Look around you," she said, gesturing at the busy workers. "We are creating something extraordinary. Each of you plays a vital role in this mission. Remember, we are not just building a warship. We are building a future for humanity." Her words resonated deeply. The workers returned to their tasks with renewed energy, knowing they were part of something bigger than themselves. They were fighting for their families, friends, and the planet they loved. However, as the construction progressed, the Galactic Empire grew suspicious. They noticed the unusual energy readings from Jupiter and sent a fleet to investigate. The Empire's scouts reported back to their commanders, who dismissed the concerns. "It's just humans playing with toys," one commander scoffed. "They can't possibly pose a threat." Little did they know that the humans were preparing a surprise that would shake the galaxy. Back on the moon, the teams continued to push forward, and the warship took shape. Massive structures rose from the ground, built with a mix of technology and ingenuity. The once quiet moon transformed into a bustling hub of activity. Finally, after months of hard work, the day arrived for the first test of their creation. Dr. Cruz and Colonel Davis stood together, looking at the warship's colossal frame. It was awe-inspiring, a marvel of human engineering. "Today we will see if our hard work has paid off," Dr. Cruz said, her voice steady with determination. "This is just the beginning. We are ready to show the Galactic Empire that we are not to be underestimated." The team gathered around as the countdown began. The air was thick with anticipation. As the engines roared to life, a sense of hope and excitement filled the atmosphere. They were ready for whatever came next. The warship was no longer just a dream, it was a reality, and humanity was ready to fight back. In the depths of space, the Galactic Empire's command center buzzed with activity. The alien leaders gathered around a massive holographic display showing a map of the solar system. The mood was tense as they analyzed the strange energy readings coming from Jupiter. Reports from their scouts indicated unusual activity on one of the planet's moons, but many in the room dismissed it as a minor human experiment. Commander Zephyr, a tall and imposing figure with dark scales and sharp features, stood at the front of the room. He waved his clawed hand, and the hologram shifted to show a close-up of Jupiter. "This is nothing to worry about," he declared, his voice booming. "The humans are weak. They cannot pose a threat to our empire." Admiral Kor, a cautious alien with bright blue skin, frowned. "But, Commander, we cannot ignore these readings. What if they are planning something? We have seen their resilience in battle before." Zephyr sneered, brushing off the Admiral's concerns. "We have crushed them before, and we will do it again. Send a fleet to investigate, but do not engage unless absolutely necessary. We do not want to waste resources on insignificant creatures." Meanwhile, on the moon where humans had been building the warship, excitement filled the air. Dr. Cruz and Colonel Davis were preparing for the first test flight. The massive warship, now fully equipped with advanced weapons and shields, stood ready. It was a sight to behold, an indestructible fortress that would change the course of the war. As the humans gathered around, Colonel Davis addressed the team. Today we show the galaxy what we can do. This ship is our hope, our future. We have trained hard for this moment, and I believe in all of you. Dr. Cruz stepped forward, her heart racing with anticipation. Remember, we are not just building a weapon, we are sending a message. The Galactic Empire will know that humanity will fight back. The team cheered, their spirits high as they prepared to launch the warship. They checked systems, ran diagnostics, and ensured everything was in place. Finally, the moment had come. Colonel Davis initiated the countdown, and the base fell silent, all eyes on the massive warship. 3, 2, 1, launch. The engines roared to life, and the ship lifted off the ground, ascending into the atmosphere. It soared toward Jupiter, leaving the moon behind. Dr. Cruz watched in awe, her heart swelling with pride. This was the culmination of their hard work, and they were ready to prove themselves. As the warship approached Jupiter, the Galactic Empire's fleet emerged from hyperspace. Zephyr and his commanders were shocked to see the enormous ship rising from the planet. "What in the universe is that?" Zephyr exclaimed, his eyes widening in disbelief. The human warship was massive, dwarfing the Empire's ships. Its sleek design and powerful weapons glinted in the light of the distant sun. The Empire's fleet had come expecting an easy victory, but now they faced a challenge unlike anything they had encountered before. "Admiral Kor, what should we do?" a nervous officer asked, his voice trembling. Kor's mind raced. "We need to gather more information before we act. Prepare to scan the warship. We must find out its capabilities." As the Empire's ships closed in, the humans activated their ship's systems. Dr. Cruz watched the readouts, feeling a surge of excitement and fear. "All systems are operational," she announced. "Weapons charged and ready." With the Empire's ships now in range, Colonel Davis made a quick decision. "Let's show them what we can do." "Prepare to engage!" The warship unleashed its weaponry, bright beams of energy shooting toward the Empire's ships. The bright blasts illuminated the darkness of space, catching the aliens off guard. The first few ships were hit before they could react, exploding into brilliant fireworks against the black backdrop. Commander Zephyr's jaw dropped as he witnessed the chaos. "Retreat! Retreat!" he shouted, panic rising in his voice. The Empire's once confident fleet began to scatter, confusion spreading among the ranks. The humans, filled with newfound confidence, pushed their advantage. They maneuvered the warship with surprising agility, firing at the Empire's ships and dodging their return fire. This was not the battle the Empire had expected. They were losing ground. As the humans celebrated their victory, the Galactic Empire's command center reeled from the shock. Zephyr slammed his fist on the table, anger boiling within him. "We underestimated them. We cannot allow this to continue. Prepare for a counterattack!" But the humans had sent a clear message. They were no longer the weak creatures the Empire thought they could easily defeat. The tide of the war had shifted, and the Galactic Empire was in for a surprise they would never forget. The space around Jupiter was filled with chaos. The human warship glided through the darkness, its engines roaring and weapons ready. Colonel Davis stood at the command console, sweat on his brow as he watched the screens filled with enemy ships scattering in all directions. "Target their lead ship," he ordered, pointing at the largest vessel on the display. "We need to make a statement." Dr. Cruz worked beside him, her fingers flying over the controls. "Firing weapons now!" she called out. The warship shook slightly as energy beams shot from its turrets, cutting through the vacuum of space like laser beams of light. The blast struck the lead alien ship, causing it to explode in a brilliant flash. A cheer erupted from the crew as they witnessed the destruction. It was a moment of triumph, but Colonel Davis knew that the battle was far from over. "Keep firing! Don't let up!" he shouted, his voice filled with determination. "We need to keep the pressure on them." The warship danced through space, dodging return fire from the Empire's ships. Each time the enemy fired, the crew activated the ship's energy shields, which glimmered and crackled as they absorbed the blasts. The humans had worked tirelessly to build these defenses, and now they were proving effective against the alien assault. Meanwhile, the Empire's commanders scrambled to regain control of their fleet. Commander Zephyr seethed with rage, his scales shimmering with frustration. "Those humans think they can challenge us? Gather all ships! We will show them our true power." The Empire's fleet reformed, and a plan began to take shape. They targeted the human warship as a group, their weapons charging up for a combined attack. Dr. Cruz noticed the change in the enemy's formation, and her heart raced. "They're coming for us!" she shouted. "Prepare to brace for impact." Colonel Davis gripped the armrest of his seat, his jaw set. "Stay calm, everyone. Focus on your stations. We can't let fear take over." As the enemy ships approached, the humans readied their defenses. The warship's shields flickered but held strong against the barrage of enemy fire. Explosions lit up space as the two forces clashed, each side refusing to back down. "Return fire! Target their engines!" Colonel Davis commanded. The crew responded, launching volleys of energy blasts at the enemy ships. The warship shook with each impact, but its crew remained focused and determined. As the battle raged on, one of the smaller Empire ships made a desperate move. It charged directly at the human warship, hoping to collide and cause maximum damage. "Brace for impact!" Dr. Cruz yelled, her voice slicing through the tension. The collision was intense, a deafening blast that rattled the ship. Crew members struggled to stay on their feet as alarms blared. But the warship held strong, its reinforced hull absorbing the impact. Colonel Davis quickly shouted commands to assess the damage. "Status report!" he demanded, adrenaline coursing through him. "Shields are holding at 70%. One crew member replied, relief washing over the command center. "We've taken some damage, but we're still operational." "Good. Let's show them what we can do," Colonel Davis urged. "Push forward!" With renewed determination, the crew worked as one. The warship began to turn, its powerful engines propelling it toward the heart of the Empire's fleet. Explosions lit up the void as the humans targeted ship after ship, their aim precise and deadly. The tide of the battle was shifting in favor of the humans. With each enemy ship that fell, their confidence grew. The Galactic Empire was not prepared for this kind of fight. They had underestimated humanity's resolve. As the last few Empire ships attempted to retreat, Colonel Davis raised his hand in victory. "We did it! We showed them our strength!" Cheers erupted from the crew, the sound echoing through the warship. Dr. Cruz felt a swell of pride as she watched her team celebrate their hard-fought victory. They had transformed their fears into a powerful force, proving that humanity was not to be trifled with. But as the battle settled, Commander Zephyr vowed to himself that this was not over. He would regroup, strategize, and return. The Galactic Empire would not forget this day, and neither would the humans. The war was far from finished, but today, the humans had taken a bold step into the future, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the warship floated among the wreckage of the Galactic Empire's fleet. The crew cheered, their voices echoing through the ship's command center. They had achieved something incredible, and the atmosphere was filled with excitement and hope. Colonel Davis stood at the front, feeling a wave of pride wash over him. "Everyone, listen up!" he called, raising his hand for silence. "Today we have shown the galaxy that humanity will not be bullied. We fought hard and proved that we are a force to be reckoned with." Dr. Cruz smiled, her heart swelling with joy. She glanced at the screens displaying the aftermath of the battle. "We need to send a message to Earth," she said. "We must let them know that we've won and that we are ready to defend our home." "Agreed," Colonel Davis replied. "Let's prepare a broadcast for all human colonies. We need to inspire everyone and rally support for what's coming next." As the crew worked to send the message, Dr. Cruz felt a mix of emotions. She was proud of their victory, but knew that this was just the beginning. The Galactic Empire would not sit back quietly. They would regroup and come back for revenge. Meanwhile, in the command center of the Galactic Empire, Commander Zephyr seethed with anger. He could not believe the defeat they had suffered at the hands of the humans. His pride had been shattered, and he vowed to make them pay. "Prepare for a counteroffensive," he commanded, his voice low and dangerous. "We will crush the humans once and for all. They think they have won, but they have only awakened the wrath of the Empire." Back on the human warship, the team had successfully sent out their message, and it spread quickly across the solar system. People cheered in the streets of cities, and families gathered around screens to watch the broadcast. They had seen the power of humanity, and hope began to bloom. "Today is a new dawn for us," Colonel Davis said during the broadcast. "We have fought bravely, but we must prepare for what comes next. We need every able-bodied human to join the fight. The Galactic Empire may return, and we must be ready." The response was overwhelming. Volunteers signed up to join the cause, and factories across Earth began to produce weapons and supplies. Engineers and scientists rushed to work, driven by the desire to defend their planet. The mood shifted from fear to determination, and a sense of unity grew stronger. Dr. Cruz watched the excitement unfold from the command center. She turned to Colonel Davis, her eyes shining. "We need to keep this momentum going. Let's improve our warship and develop new strategies. We can't afford to become complacent." "Yes," Davis replied. "We must work day and night. Our victory has sparked a fire in humanity. We will build more ships, create better weapons, and train our people. We will not be caught off guard again." Weeks passed, and the humans worked tirelessly. The warship was upgraded with advanced technology, and new ships were built, all designed to defend Earth and its colonies. Dr. Cruz and her team analyzed data from the recent battle, developing strategies to counter the Empire's tactics. As the preparations continued, the mood on Earth was one of optimism. Humans were no longer seen as weak. They were warriors ready to fight for their future. Schools held rallies, and communities banded together to support the war effort. One day, as the sun set over the horizon, Colonel Davis and Dr. Cruz stood on the observation deck of the warship. They watched as Earth glowed with life, filled with hope and determination. "This is just the beginning," Dr. Cruz said, her voice steady. "We have shown that we can stand up to the Empire, but we must remain vigilant. They will come back." Davis nodded, his expression serious. "We must be ready for whatever comes next. The universe is watching us, and we will not fail." As the stars twinkled in the vast sky, a new chapter began for humanity. The battles ahead would be fierce, but they faced the future together, united by their strength and courage. They had awakened as a new force in the galaxy, ready to fight for their place among the stars. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and humanity was ready to embrace it. The Galactic Empire would soon learn that they had underestimated their greatest foe. Together, the humans would rise to the challenge, fighting not just for survival, but for a brighter future.